the softball player who hit a home run for her teammate who could not run. The 26th of April, 2008, a small college softball field in Elmsburg, Washington. It was the kind of day that feels like 1,000 other Saturdays in baseball history, but it was not. That is Sara Tucholsky, a senior at Western Oregon University, a 5'2", part-time starter who was only in the lineup that day because of a teammate's mistake. In her entire life, not in high school, not in 4 years of college, had she ever hit a home run. Until this moment. With 2 runners on, in a game that could decide her team's playoff fate, Sara hit a shot, a perfect, unbelievable, once-in-a-lifetime home run. It should have been the greatest moment of her athletic career, a story she would tell her kids and grandkids. But in the seconds that followed, that dream turned into a nightmare, and what happened next? Well, it is a story that reminds us that the greatest moments in sports have nothing to do with the final score. Chapter 1: The Impossible Choice. In her excitement, Sara missed first base, a rookie mistake. As she planted her foot to turn back, her right knee buckled. A pop, a searing pain. She collapsed. She tried to crawl back to the base, but she could not move. The dream was over. Her coach, Knox, was faced with an impossible choice. The umpire laid out the options. Option 1. A teammate or coach could help Sara, but she would be called out immediately. Option 2. A pinch runner could be substituted, but because the play was not dead, the hit would be downgraded to a single. The home run, her only home run ever, would be erased from the record books. Her team was losing its shot at the playoffs. Her opponents, Central Washington, were their biggest rivals. It was their senior day, their last home game. Every run mattered. Coach Knox was about to make the call. To put in a pinch runner, sacrifice the home run. And then, a voice cut through the confusion. It was not from Sara's team. It was from the other dugout. Mallory Holtman, the Central Washington star player, and their all-time home run leader, walked up to the umpire. "Excuse me," she asked. "Would it be okay if we carry her around the bases?" Chapter 2: The Longest Home Run Trot. The umpire was stunned. He said there was no rule against it. So Mallory Holtman, a player battling her own chronic knee pain, and her teammate Liz Wallace did the unthinkable. They walked over to their opponent. Mallory asked Sara which leg was hurt. "My right one," Sara managed to say. "Okay," Mallory replied. "We are going to drop you down gently at each base. You need to touch it with your left leg." And with that, they lifted her up, 2 opponents, carrying their rival. They started the journey around the bases. At first base, they paused, and Sara touched the bag. Then second. The crowd, once heckling the 5'2" player, was now silent, then erupting into a standing ovation. As they rounded second, the 3 players started to laugh. "I wonder what this must look like," Mallory said. "It looked like sportsmanship. It looked like humanity." They stopped at third. Then, they made the final turn for home. As they crossed the plate, they delivered Sara into the arms of her own team, who were all in tears. The home run counted. Western Oregon was now winning 3-0. Then, Mallory Holtman and Liz Wallace simply turned around, jogged back to their positions, and tried to win the game they had just helped their rivals take the lead in. Chapter 3: Being Beyond the Game. Central Washington lost that game, 4-2. The 3-run home run was the difference. Because of that act of kindness, their own season was over. They would not be going to the playoffs. But they did not lose. Not really. In the days and weeks that followed, their story went viral. It was on ESPN, CBS, the New York Times. They won an ESPY award for Best Moment. When asked why she did it, Mallory Holtman, the fierce competitor, the record holder, said something that every father, every coach, every player should hear. She said, "In the end, it is not about winning and then losing so much. It was about this girl. She headed over the fence, was in pain, and she deserved a home run." They did not know it was Sara's first and only home run. They did not know she was a senior playing in one of her last games. They just saw a fellow player in pain, a person who had earned something, and they decided to help. They chose character over a championship. They chose kindness over a box score. And in doing so, they created a legacy far greater than any trophy. In closing, Coach Whiz's take. This story gives me chills every time I hear it. As a coach, your job is to teach your players how to win. You teach them strategy. You teach them toughness. You teach them to fight for every inch. But what do you teach them about character? Mallory Holtman and Liz Wallace were not taught what to do in that moment. They just knew. Their coach, their parents, their community had instilled in them a sense of empathy that was stronger than their desire to win. That's the real coaching. That's the lesson that lasts a lifetime. This story is a powerful reminder for every parent watching their kid play. We get so caught up in the wins and losses, the batting averages, the scholarships. We forget that sports are meant to build character first. Are we teaching our kids to be good players, or are we teaching them to be good people? Because on that day in Ellensburg, Washington, Mallory Holtman and Liz Wallace proved that you can be both. They showed us that the greatest victory is not the one on the scoreboard, but the one that reveals who you are when everything is on the line. Thank you for watching. What is the greatest act of sportsmanship you have ever witnessed? Share your story in the comments below. We feature new stories every week, so be sure to subscribe and join our community of fathers and grandfathers of the diamond.